just hit start streaming again.
Oh, I forgot my green shirt.
Oh, gotta get a green shirt for sure. All right, let's see if anybody finds us. You are live. The internet can totally see you now. So, Mark, you have a giant black box. Did a plane crash?
Yeah.
Did you find some treasure?
There's treasure inside here.
Okay. Does that thing have like a lock and a combination, or what?
I was hoping, but no. It's got a knob. We got a knob. You can
Really?
turn. Yeah. See?
How much does that weigh?
Uh,
Oh my God, it's got this guy's name on it and stuff like that. Are we obligated to send this box back? What is that
yeah.
for? Is it for like ammo? That is a lot of.
Yeah.
How much does this phone cost? If you were just gonna say, you know what,
I
I'm
think
just
they
gonna go buy
run
another one.
somewhere like $350.
Well, how much does that box cost?
Probably $30.
Okay, alrighty. So tell us what's up with this.
You should have gotten one that lights up when you open it.
Well, he should have gotten one that says, "Don't F with my back glass." All right, so
like
this
the briefcase from Pulp Fiction.
All right, this is the.
Yeah, there's
yes,
the
I
note.
remember this. Okay, so this is a Samsung Galaxy S8. No,
Plus.
S8 Plus. No image, and this. Let's see. Yes, Jessa, here's a cut and paste of the email I sent a couple days ago. Basically, this all started when the display went dark, Mark. Now, this happened out of the blue with no previous issues. I was using it for GPS in my car, and poof, dark display.
Yeah.
This phone, Mark, has been impeccably maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Not a nick or a scratch on it.
That's true.
And it better stay that way. I keep it in this box at all times, except for when I use it once a day. I ran through all the usual black screen of death, reset, reboot processes multiple times to see if it was simply a glitch. None of the usual processes resolved the problem. However, I did notice that the digitizer appeared to work fine, meaning that even with the display unlit, I was able to use the touchscreen to make calls, etc. Now that actually sounds like pretty good bona fide troubleshooting.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he's able to differentiate. This isn't just a dead screen. It's no image, but touch is working. So I hooked the phone up to my Samsung DeX dock, and it was clear that the motherboard's memory and CPU were fine. I used a desktop monitor as my display for a couple of weeks while I looked around for a repair shop, and used fingered gestures on the phone's display and watched everything on the monitor. All right, so no image. So I contacted Cell CPR of Westford, Massachusetts, and those guys get a thumbs up from Joe, who said that you guys treated his baby with the ultimate care, and you were able to open up that back glass and put not a nick or a scratch on it. So kudos to you guys over at the CPR in Westford, Massachusetts.
And they sent the back glass already prepped with brand new adhesive. I just got to pull the thing off and stick it on when I'm done.
Yeah, so this should be easy. I think you should wear gloves, though. Obviously, they're, you know, right back there. I don't think that you should touch this phone with your hands. I mean, you wipe your ass with your hands. You eat food with your hands.
With my bare hands.
Yeah, you're an animal.
I do both of those things with my bare hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes at the same time.
You touch like bread with your hands, and now you're gonna touch his phone? That's disgusting. You need to go put some gloves on for sure. All right, so they tried doing a new LCD digitizer assembly, and guess what?
It didn't work.
It didn't work, no image. But Paul did an outstanding job disassembling and reassembling the phone shell without so much as a nick on it. No pressure, Mark. I mean, if you put some nicks on there, we know who did it.
Well, I just want...
So he sent the phone to another guy.
I see a little nick right there. And a very small one right there, too.
Well, let's see. You got to document that right now. Really? Hold it up to the camera. Stick it under the microscope. Oh, that's
yeah, it's gonna have to be under the microscope to even see that.
Okay.
But
so he recommended you. He mentioned that he spoke to Mark at your place about the phone.
He did.
In a nutshell, my phone has been away for repair for several weeks between 2 shops, and I'd really like to get this resolved so that I might finally chuck my horrendous backup Windows 10 phone in the trash. So he really, really, really wants this fixed. And I'm pretty sure that he has sent a few other notes kind of detailing how important it is that you don't get a nick or a scratch on the back glass. Are you up to the job? Can you handle it?
I think I can do it.
Okay. All right. So walk us through what the plan is here. I see a logic board. So you took the logic board out, and you're touching it with your hands. Oh my God.
Yeah, I am.
Oh my God, it's disgusting. Alrighty.
Rubbing it.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see if we can find the microscope. Where is the microscope? All right. So tell us your thought process as you look at this board for the very first time. Now, does the board itself have any nicks or scratches on it?
Not that I can tell. It looks pretty perfect aside from the shield that was removed here.
So somebody already took off the shield.
Yep.
All right, and how did they do?
They did good. They did a good job.
Let's hide us so that we can see this board.
This is a tough shield to remove, and it was removed without any damage. So, good job.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So
what kind of schematics are available for the S8 Plus?
I looked, and there's nothing for the S8 Plus, but there is a like level 3 Samsung troubleshooting thing, which it shows you like sections of the schematic and measure for this voltage on this capacitor, but none of it matches up to this.
Samsung Please Bro manual.
yeah, and it does kind of follow. I wish I had it so I could show, but it's the same way that I would approach the problem, but the one thing it doesn't take into account is shorted caps. It doesn't say anything about, if the voltage is not there,
then it's one of these 6 possible guys.
Yeah, well, if the voltage isn't there, then you replace this chip. And if replacing the chip doesn't work, then it must be the CPU.
Oh, that's what it says?
Yeah, well, it says, replace this chip. Did that work? Yes or no? If no, then it's AP.
Then it's PMIC, bro. Did Philippe write those solutions?
No, they were. The English wasn't. Well, it was a little broken, but not as.
Did they say no shared dick on them?
They didn't. No?
Okay. All right. So. Okay, so even if so that doesn't really help you that much. So what did you find? What have you done so far?
So the first thing I did was just start probing at the connector, because they're all pretty similar, and you can clearly see what's supposed to be ground. And no image in any device is. I'm going to look for shorts first, so I can see that these are going to be my data and clock pairs for image here.
Yep.
And then these are going to be probably power. Mm-hmm. So those were what I went after first.
So you're just doing red probe on ground and looking and listening to hear if anything is shorted to ground. That seems like it shouldn't be.
Yep.
All right. So what does that say? Diode mode.
This one, diode mode, is open line, which I believe this might be a negative voltage.
Okay, so that makes sense. So if it were an iPhone, this would be like the PN5V7, which diode mode reading is 1.4, which some multimeters will read as OL.
Right, and if I bet if I switch them and probe there, yeah, I get a reading 0.58.
So if you switch it, black probe on ground, red probe on the line, it's 0.58. Mm-hmm. All right, smart. Now, if it were OL on both sides, that would change your thinking, right? Because that means it's not actually getting there.
Yeah, then I'd be looking at a filter or a bad joint on the connector or something.
An actual open line. So you're saying that to you does not jump out at you as likely problematic. It's probably a negative image power line. Or touch. Right. Okay. All right, and then what?
And
so
then,
you're back to red probe on ground,
and next one, bingo.
All right, so you've got a big fat trace on the board. Move it up so we can see it a little bit better. So you have at where you plug in the LCD, you have a big fat trace. So certainly that can't be ground, because we can tell from reading the board it's isolated from ground. So that doesn't make sense. So that's likely a problem. Mm-hmm. So now A short circuit, it's going to be either a cap or a chip, but you have no way to know which caps or chips are on that particular rail.
Right. So, well, I know from running into this problem in an S7 before, that, you know, I know what the chip that creates some of the image voltages looks like. And
in the S7.
In the S7.
And how'd you know where it was in the S7 from the S6?
No, they changed it a bit from the S6, but from probing around and seeing, like, oh, okay, this coil talks to, you know, these pins, this cap talks to these pins. It's all around this guy. He probably does something with image.
Let me take it off. Oh, okay. Let me reball it. Image is back. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are using your experience,
and so the first thing that is similar, that is related to image, is this guy, which has been used.
Which guy?
This guy right here.
We can't see him. Oh, him.
Yeah. So
so I've seen
been
him
there
before, and he's called like the little power IC or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
It's, you know, whatever China wants to call him.
Yes.
But he does something.
Is he
with
like
image.
the chestnut of the Samsung?
Well, that's what it had seemed like, and I think is the case for like the S6. But then for the S7 and S8, he has a helper. So it's
Chestnut's nut?
No.
Chestnut had a baby?
So
Hazelnut? Hickory nut?
So if I probe around here and just look for some shorts, let's see. No. There.
That sounds like a short, and it's a large cap.
Yeah. Right?
Off with his head.
Yeah, but I don't know about that.
Okay.
So there is a possible problem. Now I don't know, do these lines over here go there? I have no idea.
Or is that an independent and potentially trollable quote short? So we know from iPhones that there are some places that will have low resistance to ground and they're not short. That's just the normal way they are. But in the iPhone, those usually have a distinctive location around the CPU and a distinctive structure.
See, this is 0.063.
Ooh, 0.063. So to me, if that was an iPhone, that would not be short. That would be a CPU power line, because it's not 0000, it's 0.06. That's kind of a lot as far as small things go. So I would say not part of the problem. What do you say?
I also would say, you know, keep it in mind that exists, compared to a known good if possible, but not first choice. So then this guy, this Max 77838.
Yes, so that's a Samsung favorite, the Max, also power chip.
Yep. So he is also related to image.
So that is hazelnut.
Yeah, and ZXW does have an S8 board layout.
Okay.
And this chip is kind of in the same general area.
Okay.
And those pins on the connector in an S8, which
now these, in that same view that we're looking at, those the caps around that dude look like they have a physical abnormality. They're not shiny.
Right. They look not great.
They look not great, exactly. So that would, I'd be looking there way before the other guy.
But I have seen stuff like that often.
Okay.
In Samsungs, like these guys are kind of the same way.
Yeah, compared to some of the other ones, which are super shiny.
So that doesn't necessarily jump out immediately.
So that might just be, this phone is kind of hot inside here and they just get dulled.
Right.
Alrighty.
So anyways, the S, I know that the S8 and S8 Plus both LCDs are interchangeable. Like for testing purposes, you can test an S8 with an S8 Plus LCD.
So that makes you think that the S8 board view is going to be a close match to the S8 Plus 4 image.
Yeah, the connector pins at least are going to be a match.
Right. Okay.
So and that when I clicked in that, these pins took me over to this guy.
Alrighty.
So we'll probe around him, and that is also 0.0063. Also 0.0063.
That's it. This phone is effed, and we might
That's
as well
000.
we might as well just have fun
Open line.
throwing it around until we break the screen. That's it. We're putting a nickel on this phone right now.
0070. There's 1003.
All right, so you're just probing around looking for anything in diode mode that is not. It doesn't matter if it beeps or not. It's beeps with a value of 0.000 low.
Yeah, yeah,
and
something
if
that
it's
is
0.006, that's too high, likely to be normally low resistance.
Yeah, I would say my
possible.
threshold would be 0.01 or less is
Okay.
worth investigating.
Okay. So what's the lowest one that you just found?
003. And that
003.
that's this guy right here. That
Hold on. Which guy?
this guy, this line right here that has a filter right there on it.
Okay.
So that
Ooh, a
is
filter. We could figure out which side the short is on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can already tell you which side the short's on.
Does it go from that one side of the filter to the connector?
I believe it does.
Okay.
So I think if we do diode mode out at the connector again, our shorted line is 003.
Okay, great. So now out at the connector we have 003, and now we have found a spot back here where we think image is probably hanging out, and it is a match of 0.003. Likely that is the same line, and that is a bona fide short on that line.
Mm-hmm.
And what we know about that line is it goes connector, filter, cap, and that's all we can detect, and then chip, presumably.
Yeah.
All right, so it would be chip, cap, filter, connector. That's as much as we could tell. So if we wanted to kind of like build our own little schematic, you could, just by figuring this stuff out. Okay, so then since shorts are caused by caps or chips, what are you going to do now?
I'm going to take the chip off.
Okay, right. That's because you don't want to nick the cap. You don't want to get a nick in it.
Well, because I have seen problems with this guy before, and it's never been...
He's on your shit list.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So if it's a cap or a chip, cap has no burn marks or physical damage. So the cap we're talking about is which one? This big fat guy next to the filter.
Yeah,
So he
right
looks
here.
really beautiful even compared to the other ones in that same area.
Yeah.
So he doesn't look like he would have been the cause of a short. He's not shooting out any solder balls. He himself is not burned or cracked or damaged. And the chip that we believe he goes to is on your shit list from causing problems before.
Yeah, from past experience.
Okay.
Same kind of situation, no liquid damage, just sudden failure.
Sudden death. Okay, so don't get any don't even think about getting a nick on my JBC. It's brand new. Look at this, everybody. Wait a minute. Is
That's
that
not-
fucked up already?
That is not. That's not the new one.
No, it's not the new one. But that would be.
You're not gonna get me. So because I've run into this guy before, I stalk him.
Wow! Look
Yeah.
at you. Alrighty. And you're keeping. Are you allowed to keep your chips inside that fancy box?
Don't tell Joe.
Joe. You know what Joe doesn't know can't hurt him. All right. Let's see what's going on in chat. So I put chat up here, and I made it so that like everybody that is blind can see it.
Oh, yeah, you did.
There you go. See, you can even
Hey,
read
look
it.
at that.
Yeah. So SIDS really stands for Samsung Instant Death Syndrome. I like that. Way to go, Brian. All right. The dulling of the caps next to the chip could be from the chip shorting and heating the board. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think
Ooh, that's the dulled ugly looking caps, which since it's both sides, not just one side, it seems like that is really consistent with it just getting hot up in there. Maybe because the chip itself is a short circuit. I apologize if this has been asked before, but wouldn't resistance mode show a greater accuracy for shorts on a line, or is it easier to see because diode mode puts more current through the circuit? Resistance mode in mobile devices at this scale is extremely difficult to do just because it's laborious. You have to hold your probes very still in a very, very tight and narrow spot, and that's very difficult. And the main advantage to any method is just sticking with it, because eventually you build an experience base. So had the whole world decided to use resistance measurements out of the gate, then we'd all use resistance measurements, and those numbers would be meaningful. As it is right now, I don't have any idea what ohms value 0.06 translates to. 10 ohms, 100 ohms, I have no idea. So it doesn't mean anything to me. But since we have extensive experience with a quick, fast, speedy, get your instant read, and you can go bip, 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 all the way down a connector, diode mode has that strength, then those numbers have meaning, and so therefore it's easy to kind of compare and see patterns. All right, former PDRS student, Crazy Face McGee. All right. Wait, you guys are live? Yes, we are. All right, so what are you doing right now? You're going to take off Max?
Yeah, I'm going to take off the Max, the old Max 77838, and put on a new Chinese reballed one.
Okay, so off with the Max.
All right.
So let's get rid of us so we can watch Mark. He's going to be very careful not to nick or damage this board in any way. We are working on Joe's board, and Joe has made it clear with his extremely fastidious labeling and packaging and his many communications to the effect that his baby does not have a nick or a scratch on it, and he wants it to stay that way. So you're kind of low compared to what I would be. You want me to put it up?
Maybe. I've not worked on Samsung boards much on your station.
Okay. So
and I know you just, I know you just changed the thing.
the hot air today.
So, yeah.
Alrighty.
There we go.
Alrighty. And now
is
you're going to see whether or not what we think is a short, is it gone or no. Let's find out. So red probe on ground.
Black probe on the line, and all I've got now is open line.
Open line! Yay! So you have found a short and solved a short by ditching that chip, and it's really unfortunate that you don't know where the dot is.
I know, but I do know where the plus sign was.
Oh, okay, good. Alrighty. Let's see. So you're going to stick a new chip on there because that's obviously going to be required for image. And now, how do you think that chip went bad?
That I really, I don't know.
Like, how did it come to be this way?
Yeah, I don't know.
No hypotheses, no ideas. All right, let's watch more.
I mean, the couple of cases that I've seen where this chip has failed and I've gotten reliable background information, it's been just out of nowhere, just suddenly.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's note is very clear. Using it in the car, for GPS in the car, and it just decided it didn't feel like making image anymore.
Yeah.
No insult. Alrighty. Let's see. Is there any info about that board?
Nope.
No, none whatsoever, other than what you can figure out just by detective work, by combining experience, physical exam, and logic. Really, is the tools that you use to figure something like this out. Alrighty. Diode mode measures the forward voltage drop of whatever you're measuring. Well, it's supposed to be for diodes. That's why you will see consistent results with it. Consistent and fast results. So it doesn't have to range around and figure out.
Now, how did I have this board oriented when I started?
Well, you know, I figure you should just put it on whatever way you feel like it.
I put it on this way.
Yeah.
It's
You've
good like that.
Like that you've definitely had it like that the whole time.
No, I know.
Remember that the burnt up caps, which were the big 10. But I will pay you $10 if you put this chip on in the wrong orientation so that we can watch this phone blow up on stream.
No.
Because, you know, what Joe doesn't know can't hurt.
Well, Joe's paying me more than that to fix it. So.
Oh, damn it. Alrighty. What make and model of the phone? This is a Samsung S8 Plus with sudden onset, no image.
I believe it's a G9550U.
Well, or that, yes. Would you be pissed off if I started jumping up and down?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There we
you go.
All right.
There you go. All right, and now, what is your plan? Obviously, you need to send it out for detailing because we can't put a board like that back in a phone. That's got flux on it.
Oh, well, I was going to take some of the shakings from the bottom of the brass wool you have here.
Yes.
And just shake them in the box a little.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
All right. Now we have 0.456 and climbing.
So are you out at the connector? Go out at the connector.
Yeah, I'll go out at the connector.
Let's see. Now phone explodes. That's what W2NAP says.
Up to about 0.5 now.
All right, so 0.5 out at the connector when it was 0 in diode mode. That sounds like you had a problem that you solved out at the connector that's very likely to make this whole thing not boot like the phones I've been working on. Mark totally called one that I was working on. He's like, that phone is going to boot one time. It was an iPhone 10. And sure enough, it booted one time, and yay! You know, but we didn't have it hooked up to anything, and then it did not boot again.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yes, that's quite unfortunate.
All right, I'm getting this sucker in.
You got to get do you want me to have my phone ready in case this actually has image just for a second so you can be like, ha ha, I figured it out.
Oh, this is definitely going to work forever.
All right. Now, if this does have image, I don't think that we can just put that back glass back on there and send it back. I think that we should, you know, make sure that that it's robust and, you know, kind of, I don't know, do a little egg toss or something with that phone. Oh. I don't see anything here. Let's put it on hand cam. You got a bigger fish to fry.
All right, hold on. Let me just check this battery voltage first.
Okay. Hand cam for Mark. Alright, here he is. Dun, 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 dun. What is it? Is it 0 or 4?
It's 0.
0?
Yeah, it's straight up 0.
Wow.
It's like, hey guy, I got a short in me.
Hey, remember back when I used to be a battery?
All right. Well,
what's going to work out of this? Anything to force
just
charge that battery?
a wire.
Hmm?
A wire.
I happen to have some wires. right here. There you go.
All right. Hold on.
Have you used this before?
I haven't. I saw that and like.
It's pretty cool, but it's counterintuitive. This
Yeah.
is red.
Well, you know.
This might as well be red.
I realized that I had it when Fiona came into my office and pulled it out.
Oh,
and
wow.
then
Oh
gave
my
it
God.
to me. And like, oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Get the fuck out of Daddy's office.
Or I'll have to stick that probe in your eyeball.
All right. Now I want to see which one of these is ground. All right, that one's ground. This one's not ground.
All right.
This
This is my wire. So this I cut from
from the telephone pole outside.
No, man, I cut it from the DC power supply that runs the camera. Remember how I had all these things that was shorting together constantly? Not anymore, done.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, okay.
It's a whole bunch.
All right, yeah.
It's my unlimited supply.
All right.
If you really are lazy, you can get some of the ones that I already kind of harvested. Here you go.
Where's my good red wire?
Well, there's a red wire right there. Oh, oh, there's another red wire that.
I got a spool of that stuff at home.
There you go. Here's
Stuff's
black,
good.
so
That's
it's
the
even
good stuff.
color coordinated. There you go. All right, so now red and black. Okay.
All right.
All right, so Mark is going to see if he can make this thing turn on despite the fact that it has a 0-volt battery. Let's see. They are having fun. So we are ignored here on chat. LOL.
Okay.
I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know what they're talking about either. Well, I'm ignoring them.
I think chat should vote on whether or not we should play egg toss if this phone works before putting it back. Show the case, the beautiful, lovely case. Open it up. The like custom shipping tote. Oh, I like the like egg crate. Like you could,
yeah.
You could, make that be like a great place to take a nap if you were a hamster. Alrighty. Crazy Face McGee says absolutely egg toss. Because what Joe doesn't know can't hurt him.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't watch YouTube.
No. I mean, if he did, he would have sent it here directly.
Right.
Rather than, sending it to 3 or 4 other places. You gotta figure something out. Whoa! Alrighty, so let's see. You have connected. I like, oh gee.
Wow.
It doesn't like that. Okay, so now I see current consumption and, oh my goodness, it is image. Make sure it boots. Oh, it went away.
It does. It does the animated logo.
Does it? Let's
Yeah.
see. You guys show it.
Now it's going to show the carrier.
It's breathing. It's alive. Yay!
Oh. Touch works too. Yay.
Touch works too. Yay!
Joe's going to be
Yay.
so happy.
Joe is going to be so excited. And now, egg toss. Just toss it to me. Come on. Wait.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead. Here. Oh, God! Alright, ready? Coming back to you. Oh, shit. Ready? Catch it! Oh, God! Alright, just one more. Come on, a little farther back. Shit! Okay. Alright, your turn. Ready? Okay.
Ooh.
Alright, that's good. Alright, that never happened. Alright, now...
Nobody tell Joe.
Nobody tell Joe. Exactly. Alright, here we go. Let's turn that back up. Hey, Christine, do you want to play egg toss with Joe's phone? Remember that one that... Mark fixed it!
I'm good.
You're good? Are you sure?
She does not want any part of this. We're the bad kids.
Yes. Alright. Catch Christine!
Oh, God.
Oh!
Oh, no.
What the hell? Alright. I think it's time for bed. Alright. But I like that one. So that was a pretty bona fide, legit Mark Schaefer repair. on figuring out a fault in a phone where you really don't know, you don't have very much information to go on other than logic, experience, and physical exam. And so by combining those tools with a whole bunch of experience, you can fix a lot of things and make people really happy. We will put Joe's actual phone carefully back together, put it back in the black case, and we will refrain from the temptation to egg toss it around a little bit. And that is all for this stream. And throw it! Come on! Come on! That was really fun. All right, we will see you guys next time.